It's funny because if I didn't live it,
Right.
I would call total BS. If you can shake your hips to it or gyrate or twerk, that's how I know. All of a sudden I hear the music, and so I've had like 2 people help me get into this costume. So I'm like, and I hear the music and I come out and I'm dancing to Sweet Georgia Brown.
Well, today is going to be a fun day because I am, I'm Lori Burgett. That's Natalie Fisher, the Na and the La. And today, it's payback time.
Oh, no.
It's,
Isn't every day payback time?
Well, pretty much. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I serve, you serve, whatever. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to, what is it? It's like people's 10 things you didn't know about me kind of episode.
Yeah. 10 things you probably didn't want to know.
I don't know. Do people not know things about you? As long as you're over JW, they probably do.
I have no rebuttal. I have no rebuttal.
So
yeah,
that's okay.
It's I'm an open book.
Yeah, and an impulse conversations, they happen, and depending on the emotion going on for the day. No, that's just really a dig on her dating life kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so are you ready? Are you ready for the rapid fire?
I don't know if I'm
on these glasses. Let's start here.
Okay, I don't know if I'm ever ready.
I think this is a cool one. Are you ready? What celebrity do you think you look most like, or people say they remind you of? What celebrity?
Well, I didn't think that's where we were going.
Well, that's where I went.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say this, but in the past, before I colored my hair multicolors, people used to think I looked like Linda Carter, and I thought it was because I was Wonder Woman. So that was a long time ago. And then I would sometimes get Priscilla Presley when she was early on.
I see that.
Married to Elvis.
Yeah.
So I neither one of those, like, that they're all great. That's what I used to get. But I'd rather be myself.
For
yes.
sure.
Yes.
For sure.
I'm one of a kind. Yeah.
So here's the funny thing about that, and I think this is my next question was, what are the many hats of Natalie Fisher? We had this conversation the other day because of all of the
the different things I've done.
Yeah, you always tell people
Licenses.
when people go, hey, what do you do?
So here's the thing. I went to school to be a sports broadcaster. So I got my college degree, communications, worked in the NBA, right? Now, since then, I have my real estate license, which is currently active. I have my mortgage origination license, which is currently active. And I have to do continuing ed for both of those things. I am now a certified pickleball pro through the PPA, or PPR, sorry. And I did cosmetology before college. So I do hair, and so I do my own hair, my own nails. I have actually done Lori's hair a number of times.
Yeah.
That's not why she's wearing a hat, though.
I think it might be.
So yes.
I played pickleball today already.
I know. So lots of certifications, and it's funny because if I didn't live it,
right,
I would call total BS. Like, there's no way. Real estate, mortgage, hairdressing, college, certified pickleball pro. Like, seriously, that's a weird. I don't know.
Those are the things that you like, and then part of it is about living, and part of it is like just living your lifestyle.
Yes.
Right? So it was funny because somebody said something like, what a fortune you must pay to do all those things, because this is how she shows up on the pickleball court, people, for those of you who don't know. Fully made up, big old hoop earrings, hair done, whatever the day is, all of the nails on, because it's hilarious. We had stopped the game. Oh my God, what happened? I lost a nail. And we're looking around on the court for a nail. Popped up. She found it. And everybody, if it's girls on the court, everybody stops like, oh my God, that's a problem. So let's look for the nail. So, but we were talking about that one day, and somebody goes, well, she must spend a fortune on that stuff. And I said, she does it all herself.
I do it all myself.
She does her hair. She does her,
my hair. I cut and color my own hair. I do everything.
Buys the nail. I know a lot of girls do it now, but they buy them
on Amazon. Yeah, I know. People are like, oh my God, who does your nails? And I was like, Amazon, $5. Like,
right.
or whatever. It's so
Or
yeah,
they
it's
stop
funny.
you with the clothes, and then it's
Right.
like, like something you're wearing today. And she's like, oh, this thing I just cut it.
I
made
cut it. Yeah.
Oh, your shoes, they match your skirt. Yeah, I know. I colored that too. Does that sound like Natalie?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly like Natalie.
Yeah,
Does that
close your
sound
eyes and you would think
does
you're
that sound
talking
like
to me.
Linda Carter.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so I've done, so lots of different things. And
that's the
yeah,
hats.
Yeah,
I
lot
think
of
it's
hats.
interesting.
Yeah.
Which one of those do you do the best, by the way?
I feel like that's kind of a loaded question.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
you don't know. Well, because my next question is, if there was anything that you could do as a career, what would you choose? Like one thing.
Oh, for sure, pickleball. Pickleball. All day long.
If somebody paid you.
All day long.
do
Yes.
pickleball.
Yeah. If I could create, well, I want to be a player, pickleball player first and foremost. Like, I want to be ranked. I want to be a badass on the pickleball court. That, and then off the court, if I could design like pickleball merchandise and fashion and be kind of an innovator and that type of thing, and then have a, be able to motivate and inspire people.
All right, I'm going to ask you this. What is your favorite color? As if it's a mystery. It's a mystery.
Well, if
It's a
leopard
good
was
thing I was a cop.
yeah.
I could figure that one
Yeah.
out.
If leopard was a color,
Color.
it would be my favorite color.
Right.
Leopard or camo. And then short of that, if I have to pick one absolute color, it's green or maybe burnt orange
You
sienna.
never wear green.
I know, but I like it.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean,
Anyway.
your car's not even green.
Well, I didn't choose the car.
That's true.
It chose
The car
me.
chose you. For real.
Yeah.
Or maybe like army. Maybe it's the camouflage.
I like camo.
Oh
I
yeah,
do
you
like a lot
camo.
of camo. Yeah.
That is true.
So favorite, yeah.
This is a weird one. What is your most embarrassing moment? Whether it's on the pickleball court or off, like something flies.
I have a lot. Unfortunately, I have like the banks are deep. They go back. It's actually not on the pickleball court. The most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me. So stay with me. So
All right.
because I went to school for sports, I actually had a job working for the Harlem Globetrotters. If anybody knows the Harlem Globetrotters, Sweet Georgia Brown, it's like entertainment.
Yeah.
And they have a mascot, and the mascot's called Globey. And Globey is actually it's a mascot, but he's like a giant, like his head is a globe.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
he wears a cape.
Yeah.
And anyway. So I had to, because I'm a team player, right? I had to don the Globey costume for
You had to wear it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We need that photo.
No.
And here's the photo now. Boom.
Yeah. No, but no, I'm telling you, this is so awful. So there was a point in time, I don't know if people remember this. I think this was like in the 90s when it was like funny to beat mascots up. Like
I remember.
Yeah, people would like go
it
and
was like the best moments.
kick
They
the
had
shit
these
out
little-
of mascots, right? So now fast forward, I'm working for the Harlem Globetrotters. The guy that's normally Globey, the mascot, he's out sick. And they're like, well, Natalie's tiny. She could probably fit in the costume.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So I go. So they're doing this like public service announcement. It's like inner city kids. And then,
Right.
the Harlem Globetrotters are there. And so then they said, okay, when you hear the music, Sweet Georgia Brown, we're going
Right.
to cue you. And you're going to walk out and you're going to wave. And I mean, I have a giant globe on my head, but all I can see is through the mouth. So my eyes are in the mouthpiece and it's like all kind of limited visibility, right? And I've got these big paw hands on and I've got a cape and I can barely move. And they're like, okay, now when you hear the song, just come out, wave, and make everything larger than life because, you don't realize like how small you are as far as being larger than life. So I'm like, okay. And they go, and then the other thing is, it's mascot protocol. You cannot speak. No speaking.
Oh, right.
Right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I'm
Right.
like, okay. So all of a sudden, I hear the music. And so I've had like 2 people help me get into this costume. So I'm like, and I hear the music and I come out and I'm dancing to Sweet Georgia Brown and waving and everything. And then they're kind of directing me to go stand in this area near some of these kids like that are being rehabilitated or something, right?
Oh, boy.
You know where this is going, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm standing in the middle of these kids and there's like this photo op and I'm smiling like nobody can see my face because I'm in the
'Cause you're
Globey
just in the
costume.
globe
Yeah.
hat. Right.
And all of a sudden, there's these kids on either side of me and I start to feel like pressure on the side. And now granted, I have like this suit on, so it's not just my body.
Right.
But all of a sudden, I'm like, it's getting harder and harder, and it's on either side of me. And I'm like realizing these kids on either side of me are trying to beat me up.
They're punching
They're
it?
punching my costume.
Right.
And now I'm like, can nobody see this? So I'm trying to look around because all I can see is through this mouth thing. And I've got googly eyes on the top. And I'm like, oh my God, they're beating me up. What am I going to do? What? Is nobody seeing this? Like, I was freaking out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I finally was like, screw the no talking mascot. So I turned to one of the kids and he's looking, and he's like a teenager, and he's looking up at the googly eyes on the top of the head. And I'm looking at him through the mouth hole. And I said, I used some expletives, and I tried to grab him, but I had these big like clown hand things. And I tried to grab him and I said, listen, you little shit. I said, if you hit me one more time, I'm going to kick the crap out of you. And this kid's eyes got so big, and he looked right up at the eyes on the head of the Globie, like they're just googly eyes. They're not like real eyes. Looked up, and he said, dude, Globie's a chick.
Oh,
that was what they said.
What stopped it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that was really embarrassing. So
Right.
then, but mind you, I'm still trying to stay sort of in costume, but like at this point, I'm like, I'm mad,
You're done.
right?
Yeah.
So then when I go back finally to the room where I have to take off the costume, I'm like throwing the head down and whatever, and I must look like a total idiot. So I'm wearing this half mascot costume, and I couldn't believe that nobody could see that I was.
And
being,
nobody helped you.
Nobody helped
came
me.
to rescue.
So that was really embarrassing.
Well, it's a good thing you got that Wonder Woman thing going then.
Right,
You were able
right.
to, like, threaten.
That was pretty embarrassing.
How old of the kids are we talking about, you think?
They were probably like mid-teens,
Yeah.
14, 15.
Oh, enough to cause damage, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That was in the mid-late 90s.
Where are the cops and the security when you need them?
Right.
Mm.
They were probably encouraging it.
Well, that was, you probably have PTSD over it.
I do. I do.
All right, so we know you're single. Oh gosh, where is this going to go, you're thinking?
Well, I don't know.
I want you to tell me about your last good date and your last bad date. I mean, in between our segments, you're scrolling your you're scrolling like,
okay.
nope, yes, nope. Oh,
No. Okay.
hey.
Okay. I'll start. I want to end on a high note.
Okay.
So you didn't say first date. So you said worst
No.
date. So
Worst or bad.
Well,
Yeah.
no, the worst ever of my life. It was, yeah. Well, you know about this.
I do. Probably.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stories, so remind me. Remind me which one.
Remind me which one.
Yeah.
No, the worst date was I was with somebody on a trip, having what I thought was an amazing weekend.
Oh, we're going. That's dark. Is that the one you want to go to? Okay.
Well, it was it's the actual worst
Okay,
date of my
I
life.
guess. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Anyway, so I won't belabor the point. So
Right.
basically, I'm on this amazing trip with
Yeah.
somebody that I cared very deeply
Right.
for, and I'm thinking at this dinner that we're having that I am going to either, I don't know if a proposal or if we're talking about
Yeah,
moving
you're
forward in
thinking
our
future,
life. I'm
right.
thinking about the future. I got a text while I was there, and
Yep.
the text basically blew everything up because there was some
His ex set, basically.
yeah
I don't want like We're gonna
the ex-fiance
mumble out of this one, but the ex-fiance.
the ex-fiance
the
the ex-fiance basically shared with me that there had been
Right.
some canoodling.
There we go.
Yeah,
Ended
and
that
I
moment.
was devastated. So
Yes, she
needless
was.
to say that
Because I was gonna say, when was the last time you cried?
I did cry. Yeah.
No, but that wasn't the last time.
No, I cry. I'm an emotional creature. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Best date. I've actually had some great dates. And again, they're never about like extravagance or excess or whatever. It's about thoughtfulness
Right.
and consideration.
Yeah.
And pretty recently I had a really great first date. Somebody made me dinner. And I know that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know that one.
Yeah. No, and it was just, it's thoughtful. Makes you dinner.
It is.
Plays music that,
Yeah.
you like.
Yeah. Natalie has we have adult children, and Natalie has the younger adult children who's in his dating phase as well.
Yeah, my son is 22. So
Right, who likes to spend his entire week's salary to do something thoughtful on Valentine's Day, and I'm like, why don't you just cook her something?
Right,
Take her
right,
cook her
yeah,
something.
yeah.
But yeah, I always find that that's the best time too, because it's quiet. You can still talk. You don't have to spend a fortune, especially when you don't.
Right.
You're working so hard for your money. But good.
Actually, well, no, you know what? Actually, one of my favorite dates of all time. This was a long time before I was married, so a very long time ago. My very first date, though, with this person that I met, he took me salsa dancing on a first date.
And he could actually dance.
Yes, because for anybody that knows me, I love to dance. Love to dance.
Yeah.
And the fact that he did that and he knew how to dance,
Right.
that was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Salsa dancing is
Salsa,
is fun.
yeah.
All right, and so
Okay.
what's on your playlist?
Oh, my playlist. Well, you get to hear it all the time.
I
at
do.
Pickleball. Yeah.
And it mimics quite the Zumba. It mimics the Zumba,
Yeah.
the
So
Zumba
I
hits of the day.
have a litmus test for music, and people make fun of me all the time. My test is whatever song it is. I love old school R&B. I like a lot of top 40. I like hip hop. I love disco. I love anything. I'm not a huge country fan. I'm slowly kind of trying to.
Because you went line dancing on one of your days.
I did.
Yeah.
I did go line dancing on a date. Yeah,
that's fun.
No, but so for me, if you can shake your hips to it, or gyrate, or twerk, that's how I know. That's how I know if it's a good song.
I'm not sure about that date. Okay. That's the first time I heard twerk. I haven't seen you twerk. That's funny.
Yeah.
That might be along the most embarrassing moments. You might want to change.
That could be too. That could be. No, because I go to dance class.
Yeah, for sure.
3 days a week.
If we plan on playing on a Saturday and Sunday, it's like, we'll have something good players lined up, which is hard to do.
Yes.
And get a foursome out there. But she's always like, I have to go to Zumba.
I know.
She literally has Zumba shoes, people. Is that a thing? Do you need different Zumba shoes? What are you doing? And then if I say, oh, gosh, my hip purchased something, she says, I'm telling you, it's not twerking, but she does the Zumba move on the court so that we all can see why our hips would actually be loose if we just, if that involved our warm up. So beware the coaching world. Any students of hers might have to do the Zumba roll.
Yeah. Well,
Zumba
because before pickleball took over my life,
right.
I was part of I still am part of the Zumba community. So again, there's an amazing community. So I've been dancing for a really long time.
It's packed. It's a packed house.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. So yeah. So
and I've gone once in a while when there, but she makes her way, just so y'all know, to the very front middle stage. Oh, is that shock I'm hearing? I can hear it all the way from here. She makes it all the way to the front, directly behind the instructor, just in case anybody else gets lost. I don't know how to what. But it's good. No, listen. It's great.
Thing. It's my jam.
And whatever makes you happy, whatever brings joy to your life, because
that brings me so much joy.
That's where. Oh yeah, for sure. I love it. I think it's awesome. So I know I'm like, oh no, Natalie likes to go to Zumba, and I know what time they're and where they're at, and what
I did. Yeah. So
and I can't play pickleball because I got my Zumba shoes on, and they look surprisingly like basketball shoes. So I don't know what's going on there in the Zumba class, but okay.
Yeah.
We'll go along with that.
Anyway,
That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Oh, tell us your backstory. Now we talked a little bit about your dad, and it'll probably come up with your dad and your family, but where you are and who's here, how you ended up in Arizona.
Yeah.
In Scottsdale. Because every time we meet people, they're like, I'm from
wherever.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, Natalie, she's from Seattle. And then she's gone for 15 minutes because there's a whole thing going on there.
There's a whole thing. The Reader's Digest version is, I think I mentioned, I came to the States when I was 5. So I was born in Uganda in Africa, which is where my dad's family was from.
Right.
And then we fled. And my parents are both foreigners. My mom is German. My dad is Indian.
Do your mom's accent.
Natalie, are you out of your bloody mind? Here. She would always say to me. Yeah. She would say to me and my brother all the time, she would say, Natalie, if either one of you could speak German as well as I speak English, then we can talk. Then we can talk. And I'd be like, okay, Mom.
I know, it's so
And
funny.
I also do Indian accents. Although
yes.
my dad does
For-
not do an Indian accent because he has an English accent. But my family.
I won't give away this most embarrassing
Oh,
story. It's a
yes,
little bit more
that
personal.
is no.
But you gotta do.
What are you talking about? I cannot do Indian. I just want to eat curry and I want to go to Kane. Okay? Yeah. So we used to entertain ourselves growing up. Like
Yeah.
we would do my mom's German accent, we would do my dad's English accent, and then we would do Indian accents. And I figured I could do it because I'm Indian, so like it wasn't offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
once in a while, that's the accent you get.
yeah.
My dad had also a very, very thick
Strong
accent. It was
accent.
hilarious. Yeah.
I will tell you though, it's funny. So as a person who likes people with accents, like Aussie is probably my favorite. Indian, not so sexy.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that's the most embarrassing moment. Sorry.
Yes,
It's
but
kind of
that's
funny.
as-
apparently the person did not find it sexy. So we've gotten all the accents out of you.
Yeah.
The mom, dad. I think when
Yeah.
your dad was telling, maybe your dad will tell the story in his interview, but there was a whole thing about like hiding jewels and when you guys were
when
trying
you
to-
flee the country, like
Right,
to
right.
your
That was
hair
crazy.
and under
They were
your
hiding it.
grips
Yeah.
and everything.
yeah, some of that stuff is
But no,
just kind of
so
amazing.
so we came to the States when I was 5. We lived in California for a number of years. My dad was a tennis pro. That was all that I knew.
Right.
We went from living in California, we moved to Vancouver, Canada, because a lot of our family ended up in Canada. And then my dad went into the family business, which there were European bakeries and delicatessens. And then after a couple of years of doing that, we ended up moving to Seattle. And then my dad got back into tennis and we lived in Seattle. So I went to high school and college in Washington State.
Right.
And then I was like a boomerang kid and I kept leaving. Like one year I lived in the Hamptons in New York. I had a summer job at a tennis club in the Hamptons. And then I came back. And then I ended up getting on with the airlines and I flew for Southwest Airlines. That was another thing that I did. From 1998 to 2000, I was
Right.
a flight attendant for Southwest. While I was on a trip, that's when I met my
Your future ex-husband.
my future ex-husband,
yeah.
who's the father of my child. And I met him on an overnight in Seattle. So I was living in Seattle, based in Oakland,
Okay.
and I had an overnight in Seattle, and that's when I met my my now ex-husband. But so we ended up coming to Arizona in 2008.
Okay.
And really bad timing because at the time in Washington, I was working for a home builder and that was when the market imploded. And I moved down here.
right,
Our house
yeah.
was on the market.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was in 2008. But
Right.
it was still the best decision ever.
Where
I
were your
love
parents
it.
at that time? Were they?
They were still in Seattle.
Oh, they were in Seattle as
yeah,
well.
they
Okay.
followed us out here.
Okay. Good.
So my parents and my ex-in-laws followed us out here because our son is the only grandchild in our family.
Yeah.
So we've been out here since 2008 and it's been amazing. And then I think I told you, like, I'm a pretty open book. So 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago, I went through a pretty transitional period where I was newly divorced. I was an empty nester. And that's when
That's a
pickleball,
lot.
that's when pickleball came
Yeah.
into my life.
It's hard to actually become an empty nester. That's the thing too. Is like you all of a sudden have all this time.
Your
and
whole
you're
life,
devoting your
yeah.
life to your kid, and you're. I don't know if you want to share it, but Brady was born with a heart condition.
Yeah, no,
right?
it was
So you-
terrifying.
you've had some
yeah. So we've
pretty
had some
scary
stuff.
days.
Yeah. My mom, like right after I got married. So the year that I turned 30, not in this particular order, I was promoted at work. I got married. I bought a house, and I had my son. The year I turned 30. Within that next 6-month period of being all those things happening, my son went into heart failure, had open heart surgery, and my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And my ex-father-in-law was diagnosed with a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it was like
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
a lot
happening.
stressful.
Yeah.
I call those mortality taps, and they really just sit
Yeah.
back and look at your life. And
No,
there's
that
a
was
lot of
like
stuff that
mortality
happens.
punch.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah,
that wasn't
true.
a tap. That was
true.
a
That was a
punch.
takedown.
Yeah.
That's a mortality
For
takedown.
sure. So thankfully, though, in spite of all those taps, punches, whatever, my son is thriving. He's 22 years old. He's a total, I'm biased, but total studly kid. He was an all-star baseball player. My mom is still here, thriving.
Yeah. And she's now your neighbor.
She is now my neighbor. My parents moved right next door to me.
Right next door.
And we share a wall.
And you can share the internet, which I
We
suggested.
do share the internet.
The internet can reach. So I'm like, you can save money.
Yeah.
Support it.
Yeah. So no, it's great. So full circle. But you have all these life experiences. So yeah, I forget. Sometimes you forget and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm reminded.
I know.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff has happened. But Arizona, love it. It's been the best thing. And even the summer.
And by the way, she's cold because I turned the air down to 77.
I'm a desert dweller.
For sure.
I can't.
I don't know how you lived in Seattle.
I was miserable all the time.
You must have been.
Yeah.
And then here's the final story. So it's funny. Every year Natalie writes like affirmations, and then she goes to me, You want to hear what I wrote? You want me to read it to you? And I was like, I'm fairly certain you read that to me. No, I'm going to read it to you. I am awesome. I will win $1.7 million in the lottery. I will be a gold medal winner. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So my question to you is like, where do you want to be next year? Because I don't want you to read the affirmations. Maybe they want to hear it at some point. But like and she always says this. She was always like, I wonder where we'll be next year.
Yeah.
So if you could, I'm just thinking, like, where do you think you're headed? What do you hope the future holds for you in 1 year?
For me, for us, for life, I mean, really, if pickleball could be the thing that takes over, so we would be playing at a high level, we'd be playing pro events and winning handily, traveling to play these events, that we would have 10 followers.
Double it. We would double our people.
No.
Let's go.
No, that we would have
It's doable.
a following.
I'm going to write that down.
We would have a following.
I am awesome. I have 10 followers.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would have a following.
Yeah.
And, we would have a brand.
Yeah.
That's
at the end of the day,
a recognizable brand in the pickleball space.
Right. And people would hopefully give us some credibility for what we're talking about. Follow us on our journey. We had this conversation today. And we do that because Natalie likes to do that in her self-affirmations.
Yeah.
So that's good. And I think that it's all doable for sure.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, a year from now, gosh, hopefully we're still around. We're kicking ass. People are like, oh, Nala Pickleball. Like,
we do have a few hats and stuff out there.
We do.
We do.
Or
are people buying some of that stuff? Or maybe we're giving it away in charities. I mean, we won't tell.
Yes. But no, if we could, and then maybe I get into where I get to have my creative outlet where I can design.
Oh, for sure. I think that'd be great. Yeah. So, I mean, we often get asked, like, where's Nala going? And those are the things we talk about. And I don't try to limit it. Sometimes we're like, which one of us has the worst ADD or ADHD? I don't know.
Yeah, we both are pretty.
Well, it's high energy. It's okay, but it's also,
yeah, and
it's
so
kind of necessary.
But for that, and then obviously, I mean, I don't think anybody would disagree that as long as your kids are happy and thriving, which my son is now in a really good place, like that's all that matters to me. Right. And my parents are, in your health and the people that you love and care about are all doing well.
All right, so we will revisit this topic. Let's see where we are
a year from now.
That is Natalie Mita.
Well, Natalie Mita is my maiden name.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I like it.
Okay.
You can say it. Yeah, are you going to?
Natalie Mita.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. Say Nala Pickleball in that.
Nala Pickleball.
Let's go.
Here we go.